Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio Ian Cameron Sports Report for Thursday, December the 3rd. We're going to break down two marquee college basketball games tonight taking place at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, USC, UConn, followed by Florida, Boston College. We'll preview those games on the show today, and we'll also look at the Friday college football matchup in the Sun Belt, UL Lafayette, Appalachian State. Should be a good one. We'll break all of those games down in just a second. But before we do, I have an announcement to make right here. We've had a nice run the last few months here on Pub Sports Radio with the Ian Cameron Sports Report. But tomorrow will be the last day of the Ian Cameron Sports Report being on this channel here on the Pub Sports Radio YouTube channel. That's the bad news. The good news is I'm going to be doing some more things here on this Pub Sports Radio YouTube channel. We'll be working in some college basketball shows in the near future that I'll be part of. I'm still going to be doing Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy every Thursday right here on the channel in the afternoon for the rest of the NFL season. I'll be part of the college football closing time show on Saturday morning, as always, with Connor Mack. That show is likely going to turn into a college basketball show in January after college football ends. And then the NFL closing time show, Ski Profit, Connor and I, that will continue as well, Sunday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific for the rest of the NFL season. So I'm still going to be here on the Pub Sports Radio YouTube channel doing lots of shows, lots of videos, lots of content at different days and different sports. But the Ian Cameron Sports Report, Monday to Friday, will no longer be on this channel after tomorrow. Tomorrow, Friday's show will be the last episode of the Ian Cameron Sports Report here on the Pub Sports Radio YouTube channel. However, the Ian Cameron Sports Report isn't going away. It will continue. It will pick up starting next Monday on my own YouTube channel. So that's my own personal Ian Cameron YouTube channel, youtube.com, Bobano. You can just search Ian Cameron. I will make sure to put a link to that channel in the comment section below this video in just a second. But yeah, the Ian Cameron Sports Report isn't going away. It's just moving. It'll be on my own channel starting Monday. It'll still be Monday to Friday as it's always been with the same format. We'll recap the day before. We'll look ahead and preview certain games, marquee games on the schedule from a betting perspective. All that you have come to expect from the Ian Cameron Sports Report will continue on my YouTube channel starting next Monday. But again, Pub Sports Radio, I'll thank them again for giving me the opportunity to bring this show here on the Pub Sports Radio YouTube channel for the last couple of months. Like I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be part of this channel. We're going to be doing lots of different things in the near future. College basketball, we're going to get a show going with that. Might even get something hockey related going when the NHL season begins again in January or February. So there's definitely a lot to look forward to in the future. So again, Ian Cameron Sports Report will be moving to my own YouTube channel starting next Monday. And again, subscribe to the channel and make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss an episode of the Ian Cameron Sports Report when it does move to my own channel starting next Monday. So tomorrow will be the last Ian Cameron Sports Report show here on Pub Sports Radio, but then it'll move to my own channel starting next Monday. So that's the announcement. Let's get to it here with the Thursday edition of the show, and let's break down two big games. First of all, let's briefly look back at yesterday, Pittsburgh-Baltimore in the NFL. Look, it was a very, very frustrating, agonizing, tough beat if you had Pittsburgh, but I can't necessarily say you deserve to cash a ticket if you had Pittsburgh. They didn't play well. When Mike Tomlin's calling out his team for playing like a junior varsity football team after it ended, you maybe don't deserve to cover the point spread and cash a ticket with that team. And Pittsburgh was just not good. I mean, you could tell the game being delayed for as long as it was, moved multiple times till it finally got played on a Wednesday afternoon. It also, I know Baltimore had more player personnel absences to deal with, but it also impacted Pittsburgh negatively. The practice and the routine was completely altered, and they didn't play a crisp, clean, well-executed football game yesterday. Penalties with a ton of drop passes by the receivers. And it was everybody on that Pittsburgh team that was dropping passes, not just one guy. Ben Roethlisberger was off the mark a little bit. The defense gave up a couple big plays. Special teams miscue that led to the first Baltimore touchdown on the muffed kick return. was a little bit of everything hurting the Pittsburgh Steelers in that game yesterday. And Baltimore, of course, gets the big 70-yard touchdown, Trace McSorley to Hollywood Brown. It gets Baltimore inside the number. That is about as ugly and unimpressive a win as you could ask for out of an undefeated team. But given the way the Steelers played yesterday, I'm sure they will take it. They get the victory over the Baltimore Ravens. As ugly as it was, the game staying well under the total. All right, let's go to college basketball for this Thursday night. We've got Connecticut taking on USC. This should be a very good game. You've got 3-0 USC, 2-0 UConn. So someone's losing their first game of the season here tonight in this one at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. We've got UConn, a slight 1-point favorite, 136.5, 137 the total. Definitely a location edge, situational edge for UConn playing this game so close to their home campus. USC now, obviously a million miles away from home, but USC playing pretty good basketball to begin the season under Andy Enfield, to begin the campaign, coming off a dominant blowout win against BYU, routing the Cougars by 26 points on Tuesday. Now that game took place right here in this same venue. So the Trojans, despite the fact they're coming from California, they've already played once in this venue. So that's definitely going to be a benefit to them. We'll see how UConn is able to fare here in this one. But when you look at this USC team, they are really raving about this freshman, Evan Mobley, a highly recruited kid, was supposed to really bolster this Trojans front court. And he's really done that. He's averaged 16.3 points per game, 9 rebounds per game in this USC 3-0 start to the season. He's been really, really outstanding. They've gotten some really good offense from a couple of other key players like Drew Peterson, Taj Edey as well, dropping in double digits in points for USC. And the defense for USC, we got to give them credit. The USC team on the defensive end of the basketball court has been real solid so far to this point of the season. BYU only shooting 27% from the field against USC. Andy Enfield's talked about it all leading up to the start of the season. And so far after the first 2 games, that he thought he would have a good team at the defensive end. And USC's really lived up to that so far. So it's not going to be easy here for UConn. On the flip side, you've got the Huskies here trying to show what they're all about. James Bouknight, of course, is the leader of this UConn team offensively with 19 points per game, 6 rebounds per game. A Cook, who is expected to be a key cog in their front court. Really, really good low post in the paint presence type of player for the Huskies. Is expected to return from injury for this game tonight, so that should bolster things for UConn. So, 2 teams playing well, and the game's a pick 'em. So to me, this is a tough one to call. The total's been hammered down, and I think the USC team, the way they've played defense, has certainly been a big factor in that total coming down. UConn can score, though, and I think they're going to test USC more than usual. On the flip side, I think the USC offense is going to be able to put up some points here in this game against the Huskies. They've got good inside-outside balance. And now with this total, after opening 142, I could see people liking the under initially. It's now 136.5, 137. So you're looking at about 5 points, 5.5 points lower with this total. I actually think there's value to go the other way now because you are going to get 2 teams that are, I believe, top 100, just fringe top 100 in pace. But whenever you got 2 teams that are at least above average in terms of pace and tempo, like both of these teams are, and you get a total in the mid 130s like this one is, so definitely I'm going to be looking toward the over now at a deflated total around 136.5 and 137. All right, moving on. We've got Florida Boston College, the second game taking place here in Connecticut. We've got Florida 5.5, 6-point favorites here. The total around 139 to 140 in this game. Florida, very fortunate to win the game they did yesterday against Army. Not a pretty game, obviously. 76-69. In fact, they were trailing in early portions of the second half, and then they ended up having to rally from behind. I'm not really buying what Florida is selling, and I've really been a stickler when it comes to the Florida Gators basketball program under Mike White. They were supposed to be good last year. They kind of weren't. They were kind of underachievers. They're expected to be even better this year. And it wouldn't surprise me if they're underachievers again. I mean, I just don't think this team I don't think Mike White's the best coach you could ask for with this team. They are sloppy with the basketball. They don't handle it very well all the time. Offensively, they can go into droughts. And you're asking a team that's really relied on defense to all of a sudden get their offense going. In order to get it going, Mike White's implored his team to try to play a little bit faster, a little bit more pace, a little bit more tempo. But as you can see yesterday, it could be a little bit of a work in progress for them. The fact that they barely beat Army, a bit of an alarming sign for Florida. And the fact, you don't have any time to really fix your mistakes. You played yesterday against Army, and now you're playing it again here tonight against Boston College. On the flip side, BC, they've got actually extra prep time. They haven't played since Tuesday. So Boston College had a day off yesterday. Florida played yesterday. So to me, that's an advantage for Boston College, a little opportunity to get a little more extra prep time under their belt for this matchup against Florida. Boston College is 1-2 so far, but they've been pretty solid. The two losses were a close loss to Villanova. They took the Wildcats, down to the wire. Boston College losing to St. John's, another pretty solid team. I mean, that's not a terrible loss by any stretch. St. John's expected to have an improved team this year under Mike Anderson, but they lose 97-93. Winston Tabbs has been outstanding. Been a comeback player, and he was absolutely terrific in Boston College's last game. 23 points scored in that game. He had a season-ending knee injury that was suffered not last year, but 2 years ago, kept him out of all of last season. To see him come back and be an impact player for Boston College, it's been really something to see. I think it's a situation here where Florida, until I see them play better, I'm leery of laying 6 points with them here in this particular spot. If I'm playing this game, I'm looking at Boston College here, getting the 6 points as the underdog as they take on the Florida Gators. All right, Friday night college football. It's a good one in the Sun Belt. Two of the best teams in this conference outside of Coastal Carolina, that is. UL Lafayette taking on Appalachian State. We've got the Mountaineers, App State, 2.5 3-point home favorites in this game on Friday night. Should be a good one. The total in this game currently around 51, pretty much across the board. The key for App State is what's the status of quarterback Zach Thomas. We know he's been banged up. We know that's been an issue for App State, quarterback concerns the last few weeks. Is he going to be good to go and healthy? That's going to be the question. UL Lafayette this season, a football team that has been earlier in the season. They had some disappointing losses on their slate, particularly the loss against Coastal Carolina. And they were a really, really poor point spread covering team earlier this year. But in a lot of those games, we saw UL Lafayette laying big points, double-digit favorites, laying more than a touchdown. And even though they've had a bad point spread record this year, this is a totally different price range for this UL Lafayette team, which is still a very good football team. Good on defense, balanced offense. Levi Lewis, the quarterback, Regis Mitchell and company at running back, multiple running backs that can hurt you on the ground. And to me, UL Lafayette looks like they might be starting to play their best football of the season. I mean, I know their competition hasn't been great in recent weeks, the likes of Texas State and UL Monroe, who have been a bottom feeder in the Sun Belt the last couple seasons. But when you go out there and you absolutely dismantle those teams, that's a positive sign for Lafayette. We just recently saw what App State did in a step-up-in-class game in this conference when they took on Coastal Carolina and they weren't able to get the job done. Does appear like Zach Thomas is going to be healthy in this game, which is probably why this point spread has been able to stand pat here in this around this 2.5 3-point price range in this game. But to me, App State, since Scott Satterfield left this program to take the Louisville job, this has not been quite that same level of App State team. They're still very good. I thought they were like elite in this conference with Satterfield. I find their offensive play calling, which he was a big part of when you coach this team, isn't quite as good. I find they get bogged down a little bit more on offense. I think their defense has had some holes at times. Let's not forget Coastal Carolina really moved the ball at will most of that game against App State a couple weeks ago. UL Lafayette's balance through the air and on the ground, it could pose some trouble here for App State. I personally would have liked a few more than just 2.5 3 points with Lafayette. If this game had gotten as high as 4 4.5, I'd absolutely have a bet on Lafayette, ULL in this game. At 2.5, 3, it's just a small lean toward UL Lafayette. It really wouldn't shock me if they win this game outright, but with Zach Thomas looking like he's going to be healthy and playing, and with App State on their very strong home field there in Boone, North Carolina, only laying a field goal and even less than a field goal, it's -2.5 in some spots. I'm just not sure there's enough value in the number to go ahead and bet UL Lafayette. But rest assured, that is the way I would lean in this game. I would lean to the Ragin' Cajuns here at +2.5, +3 is the slight road underdog. All right, that'll wrap up this edition of the Pub Sports Radio Ian Cameron Sports Report for Thursday, December the 3rd. Tomorrow, the Friday show, again, it'll be the last Ian Cameron Sports Report show here on the Pub Sports Radio YouTube channel, but the show is not going away. I'm telling you, we're back Monday on my own YouTube channel with this show, and it'll be Monday to Friday on my YouTube channel starting next Monday. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to make a point of it to start promoting that more. Somehow I've got 16,000 followers on Twitter, and yet there's barely even 1,000 people subscribed to my YouTube channel. That's got to change. We can do better than that, and we're going to do better than that. So Ian Cameron Sports Report starting Monday on my own YouTube channel. So tomorrow will be the final Ian Cameron Sports Report show here at Pub Sports Radio, but I'm not going anywhere here on Pub Sports Radio on this YouTube channel. I'll still be doing plenty of shows, plenty of content. The Football Frenzy show isn't going anywhere. That'll keep going every Thursday. We'll have a college basketball show starting up in the very near future. I'll be doing the Saturday, Sunday college football NFL shows with Connor Mack on Saturday, him and Ski Profit on Sunday, just like I've been doing the last few weeks. Those shows will remain intact, and we'll be adding some new stuff involving me here on Pub Sports Radio and the Pub Sports Radio YouTube channel. So looking forward to that. Again, our Pub Sports Radio finale edition of the Ian Cameron Sports Report will be tomorrow, and it's a Friday show, which means you know what you're going to get. Friday football six-pack. We'll break down 3 college football games from Saturday, 3 NFL games from Sunday on the show. We'll also look ahead to maybe a couple of the marquee games in college basketball taking place this weekend as well, namely Gonzaga versus Baylor. What a game that should be coming up this weekend. We'll definitely talk about that game on the Friday edition of the Ian Cameron Sports Report. So thanks to everyone for tuning in. I appreciate it. Have a great Thursday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. I'll see you again tomorrow on Friday for the Pub Sports Radio finale edition of the Ian Cameron Sports Report. But again, the Sports Report moves to my own YouTube channel starting next Monday. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow on Friday for another edition of the Ian Cameron Sports Report.